bounds or out of bounds. I'll get some context. That deer was a woman by the name of Erica Banks, I believe. She's like some kind of rapper. And she was performing in front of what you seen was high school football team, bunch of 15, 16-year-old boys. And I want to say she's like 24 years old. So just wanted to say, was that inbounds or out of bounds? You know what I mean? A lot of times women get a pass on shit like this. So just want to get y'all take. Like as a man, we seem like we act like everything is inbounds, right? But at the end of the day, some shit ain't. So
for me, I honestly don't like. I think it's inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate to the point as you have an adult dancing in front of minors, sexually, whether it be entertainment or any of that. And you're gonna have some people say that that there's dance steps and dance routines with these same dance moves and all of that. Man, no, that woman got a cannon. These boys is all looking at nothing else but her body features, which is her ass and her titties.
Real shit.
Whenever they're shaking, I'm gonna be honest with you because I'm a grown ass man and that's what I'm looking at. So if that's what I'm looking at, you know what the hell a horny ass little boy who just now hitting puberty and don't know what the hell going on is looking at. I mean, and now you have to have a conversation about this because, okay, well, what if she finds one of y'all sons attractive, and of course he finds her attractive, and they go ahead and you never know if they cross that line or not, but just entertain that line. Then what?
Well, that's the thing too, Serge. Me and Gavin was talking about earlier was the fact that if an older woman crosses that line with a younger man, it's considered a rite of passage and at the very least acceptable. Motherfuckers laugh and tell stories about it. But you take a 24-year-old man and they got high school girls, now it's instantly, and I agree, now it's gross. But that double standard okay? Like you said, they looking at her rear end and all her curves because she got it, which ain't no fault of hers, but she's sitting there shaking and enticing at this young age, and it's only going to make things more difficult for these young men trying to focus.
Yeah. And then on top of that, on the flip side, you can play devil's advocate and be like, all right, well, what if that was a man doing that? Would anybody be okay with it? Yeah, I mean, if that was a man going up there shaking his ass in front of a crowd of young girls, or that was a man doing a genuine dance or something in front of high school girls, how would y'all feel?
Seriously, man. Like at the end of the day, you got to call a spade a spade. So, like Willie was saying, we try to act like, in our culture in particular, we act like losing your virginity at 11, 12 years old is the rite of passage. You see what I'm saying? And motherfuckers don't dare go into high school and be, 17 years old, 8, going to your senior year, motherfuckers be, oh, you ain't getting no ass. Shit, you getting drugged through the ringer. So in our culture, you got to get that shit out the way early as possible when really that ain't got nothing to do with manhood. And so
you know what I've noticed? I've noticed for that, a lot of us were peer pressured. A lot of us didn't have a father figure to go ahead and talk to us about that either, though, to keep us from being peer pressured. You know what I mean? To have a father figure be like, yo, you ain't got to worry about that, son. That's not what makes you cool or whatnot. This, that, and the third. You love a woman like this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? You wait until you ready because that's a serious step. We didn't have no father figure telling us that, yo, the sex is great, but it's better to wait. No, we had hood people encouraging us. You know what I mean? You had the old heads on the block that you was already in competition with. You know what I mean? And yeah, sex was highly promoted, especially if you didn't have a father figure to go ahead and balance that and negate that whatever the world was already portraying as cool.
Everybody know how they felt when they first homie or your older relative told you don't get no pussy. Like you know what that felt like when you was young. You're like, damn, she's definitely out of bounds. She's an adult. Them is kids. I mean, at the very end of the day, she's an adult. Those are kids. And like Serge said, you mess up them young men's focus. And honestly, when I was looking at the thing, once I diagnosed these as high school kids, I'm like, what if the dude right there in the front? What if that's pastor's son? You feel me?
Yep.
How and he really looked at as pastor's son. He do everything right and all that stuff, and now you just sprinkled the dust on him. Now you feel me? Like he under the black cloud, you knocking him off of his path. But yeah, she definitely out of bounds. And like I said, I mean, if it was a man, you already know what's going down. It's somebody getting charged, and ain't none of them kids. You feel me? So yeah. She out of bounds, and I wouldn't want to subject my sons at that age or daughter at that age to that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Real talk.
Man, the first thing I was thinking, like, I was jamming at first, and then like I was like, can that team beat Quip? But then again, she out of bounds, bro. Like she is, man. Them kids is young, and yes, you know, if that was somebody else, man, doing that to like at a young girls, you know, they'd be calling them all pedophile and all this, you know. But she get that kind of pass because she a female. It ain't right, you know. But it is what it is, you know.
What makes it so much funnier listening to all of us is how dismissive we are of it. Like we're all like, yeah, it's wrong. And if it was a female, if it was girls and a dude entertainer, then yeah, dude entertainer would be crucified. But at the same time, all of our demeanors are so dismissive of this. It's like, okay, whatever. And that's the mentality that we probably need to address. Like, why are we so dismissive of things like this? Why aren't we so like enraged as per se our opposite sex counterpart? I mean, like if it was females, if this was a female panel, you probably would hear a whole bunch more.
Well, that's what I was about to say, sir. That's
why are we this dismissive?
Well, I don't think it's on the men to answer this question because we got a bias, right? So this really it'd be a question for us if it was like a man dancing in front of little girls, then we can answer that, right? But it's hard for us to answer that because the women gotta hold her accountable for that shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we can sit here all day long, but if they don't hold each other accountable, they're gonna keep doing this shit. So you see what I'm saying? So
you know what I honestly think? I don't think a female, like men, we hold ourselves accountable on a different level than females. I do, like between each other. But I don't think the females will hold her accountable as it like the way as men do, as they shouldn't. They're not men and we're not them. But they would instead, oh, look at this hoe, or she's a whore, you know what I mean? Or just talk shit about her. But that's to them saying, yeah, she dead wrong for that, but it don't come across like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, and that's a very good point, Serge. Why are we so dismissive of it? And it goes right back to the way we grew up and stuff we saw growing up. And you know what I mean? It's like, especially at high school, like 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade and all that stuff, it's like natural. Like,
it's crazy.
Dudes, women, like mad, but yeah, it's
crazy. That's the thing. Our culture doesn't see anything wrong or destructive about young men losing that sexual innocence. You know, it's just not part of maybe just American culture at all. And I do think it's screwed up. I know for a fact that me and Gavin talk about it a couple times. You know, us growing up. And how, you know, as a young man, you were, you know, worried or concerned about your sexual prowess and, you know, how many girls you could sleep with, you know, to the point where, to make his point, true story, the first book I ever purchased out of this peer pressure, out of this influence, the first book I ever purchased in college was the Kama Sutra. And I read it and I passed it to the rest of the football team. D, but I don't think you was there yet. Oh, he was in Longenecker, so that was my freshman year at Cal. Passed that thing all down the dome. I never got it back. I want my book back. But that just goes to show, like, as young men, that's where our minds was, and it's definitely lopsided.
It blew my mind being, I mean, I'm late in college, and we used to have them little offensive line functions and stuff, and we get to talking to each other and everything. And how many of them was saying they were still virgins? I'm sitting here like, what's wrong? You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I'm just like, damn, homie, you 20, guys, like, you know what I mean? And we had a couple that was older than that, and I'm like, grad student material, 25, 26, like, yeah, still virgin. I'm like, damn, bro, like, I want to do something for you. I want to help you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, but meanwhile, it ain't nothing wrong with that. You know how less problems you have? Like,
I tell you what, I say, like everybody else says, it's definitely out of bounds, but it's a double standard we live under, right? But at the same time, it's a double standard, and like I initially said, the women got to hold her accountable. And I give you an example. If you reverse the roles, right? Now, let's say some motherfucking Tory Lanez or somebody out there performing, right? In front of the high school cheerleaders or some shit. Or give any R&B, I don't know, any of the motherfuckers. And now my daughter is a motherfucking cheerleader. She 15 years old, and he pull up in front of her, pulling his shirt up, gyrating. I'm coming out the stands, I'm gonna smack the fuck out of that nigga. So that's what I mean by people gotta be held accountable. There was women in the crowd. Nobody batted a fucking eye. Can't no man go down there and grab that woman. And for us to sit here and say anything, what the fuck I'm out. I can't say shit because that ain't on us. That's just what it is. If that was a man and my daughter was out, or I think any man in the crowd, somebody probably would have stood up. Some upstanding motherfucker would have stood up and went down there and smacked life out of that nigga.
Trouble.
So that's what I'm saying, Serge.
Hey, it would have definitely been some Will Smith, Chris Rock type of episode. Because I'm definitely walking down there. Hey, bro, I got a 2-year-old daughter, bro, right now. And just thinking about that right now, bro. Like, man, I wish y'all would. Y'all better invite Justin Bieber, somebody that don't dance, or somebody that I don't know. Just, bruh, yeah. I'm gonna be banned from graduation and everything. Dang, Mr. Brockington, you are not allowed back on school premises.
And that's basically
what it's going to be. Because look, my daughter getting yanked out of that school ASAP. Some going down, man.
Like you said. But the women, unfortunately, there's no accountability. Like you said, they're going to say she's just dancing. We got our culture so fucked up right now that this kind of shit is just acceptable. And we just got to roll with it. You know what I mean? So